I want to talk about the round of 32. Up to 4 teams entertained us in this round of 32, and it was all surprises, amazing, and some a real upset of this World Cup. Right now, we know is the beginning, is where the World Cup is starting, is where all things go to an end, is where your dream gets shattered by the smaller nation, or you as a top nation, you crush the dreams and hopes of the smaller nation. But at this moment, the smaller nations are winning. The smaller nations are making their name in this FIBA World Cup. Well, I want to start about the game of South Africa and Canada. That game is close to home. I will speak a lot about it because of I understood the feeling of losing that game. I understood the feeling of us not performing how we wanted because of we have a pragmatic coach. The Hugo Bruce is a coach. I don't know what kind of a coach he is because of he's too conserved with his things. Sometimes you need to let your players be themselves, be correct. Let them be creative as they want to be. Don't correct. Hugo Bruce was making us to defend a lot, was making us to hold a position. I don't know if it's him, but the way Canada were defending, they were allowing us to have position at the wrong place at the field. They allowed us to have the position at the back. When we stepped in the middle field is where they were placing. Why couldn't Hugo Bruce just let us be ourselves, be the players that we were? Like the time he let us be ourselves in AFCON 2022, I think, at Ivory Coast. Because of that, we were ourselves. We were playing for the back. We were baiting the teams to hold the ball. We were holding the ball, baiting the teams for them to come and press us. We were doing most of amazing things. But Hugo Bruce is so pragmatic and Corey is a coach that I could say maybe it's because of his old, he doesn't want to explore tactics. But for him, I will say, Ore, good job Hugo Bruce for paving the ground for us because of right now South Africa need a coach that will be more he will be expressive, he will expand his tactics for us or to play a better football. We need a coach that will let our boys be themselves in the field of play because of us saying what we want to defend and do. That's not us, that's not the football that we're playing. We're not, even in Africa, they know us or we are the team that hold up the position long. Nigeria knows, Morocco knows. What could we be ourselves against those teams like Morocco? Morocco are being themselves against those nations. Like yesterday against Netherlands. They were themselves against Netherlands. They didn't do anything bad. Sometimes I feel Netherlands, they do this thing through themselves. Or Koeman is not a good coach. I'm not trying to speak bad on him, but I don't think Koeman is a bad coach. He's a good coach because of what he did. Let's start about the first game against Japan. The first game against Japan, he took out players that were giving him the control of the game. He took out Gravenberg in the game against Japan. The Japan came back, draw 2-2 against them, thinking that as long as you score 2-1, you won the game because of it is on the later stage of the game. The game is not ended until the first ladies sing. So yeah, and I think because of only 10 minutes left, we can hold up and defend until the game is over. No, it doesn't happen like that. If you wanna defend with the best players. Gravenberg is the best player of giving pressure in midfield. You take out Gravenberg, the person who's press resistant. Gravenberg and Frankie, the combination was good. Then you put in Timber. Like, I'm confused, Oreo. What was he thinking in his mind? Koeman or him taking out Gravenberg, taking out his best players in the team. And Otsanchabo, Copenman or who, I don't remember his name. But he put in those players right now. Then after that, Japan came back. Even in the game against Morocco, Morocco came back because of his decisions. His decision making is very poor. He's not I don't think he's a top flight head coach, that guy, because of he always think of defending. You cannot defend a one lead with 10 minutes left, with 5 minutes left, while you know your players are not that good. you trigger players that are press resistance, because of sometimes the better way of you defending a lead is you holding the ball. We saw against Bafana, they were trying they're trying to have a low block, and Canada scored because of them trying to preserve a nil-nil draw, or but because of they wanted to go to the penalty, because of I think or you go Bruce Khalenya or read to the penalty and go there with a 50-50. But Kuman made the wrong decisions. When he were taking out his best midfielder, Morocco put on their best players. And what happened? They equalized in a 10 minutes. Then they come extra time. Extra time, Morocco were on the ball. For the whole 30 minutes, Morocco were on the ball. Because of what? Frankie's alone. Timber is not a good ball player. It's not a fighter. Coben Mama. They are not good players, those players. But Kuman just said or just thought or is a good idea for him to put those players in. Then Morocco, they held up, and they attack. What happened? They managed to go to the penalties. Oh, and those penalties were the craziest penalties I've ever seen, because of how come three players just hit the pool just like that, and on the same side they were just hitting the pool, and the save that Bruno made, he just took 3 steps on the other side, on the left hand side, and put his hand up, then he blocked the ball. Like, what kind of a mindset do you need to have for you to think, worry, I'm making this decision, I think I'm gonna save that ball. Corey, I was amazed by how those keepers did block those saves, and how did the players manage to hit the pool, all of them. That was something that was so amazing, and very, 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 how can I say this, it was weird penalties I've ever seen. Another thing, Germany, I don't know what's wrong with Germany. Ever since Germany won the World Cup, I think they are in a route of being like Italy. They don't know how to play football anymore. They are no longer entertaining. It's like Germany and Italy, they are brothers. They are just in some bad blood. I don't know what's going on with Germany these days, because of they are no longer entertaining. The game against Ivory Coast showed they are no longer that team. They are no longer them. I don't know what's going on with Germany. For them to be out, Banchaga Paraguay, even though I don't wanna undermine Paraguay, because I think they're a great team, Paraguay, because those South American team and African team, they're stepping on some another level. They're making sure they're making their name in this World Cup. They're making sure that the world notice them. African football, South American football, they are something to watch because of their physical. They are fast. They're everything. And while European teams, I don't know, they think maybe they're the lighter team than us, we're gonna be. I think we need to respect the African team and then South American teams, because of they are who they think they are. They are here to stay, and they are here to make history. And we need to believe in them. As the Europeans undermine us, I think it's time for them to respect us. It's time for them to know who we are. And we will show them we are the best teams. We know how to play football. They must not undermine us. And the other team that played was the game against Brazil, the game for Brazil and Japan. That game was, if you love tactics, you will see that game was on the higher tactics, on a higher tactical level I've ever saw you. Like the way Japan defend, the way Brazil were trying to overcome the defensive side of Japan, the way Japan utilized their counterattacks. It was like, I don't know how to explain that feeling, but that match was very it was electrifying match. That match was something I didn't expect from Japan. The Asian teams they're showing themselves that they know ball. Japan knows ball. Like Japan understand football. it makes me very sad. Or I don't know any team Japan. I don't know any teams that are playing at Asia because of you. Japan plays ball the way they can get out of defense. They're in a defensive mode and start those counter attacking from that midfield player. How he scored by intercepting the ball from midfield. They know when to press, they know when to hold their press triggers. Japan was playing, but unfortunately Brazil overcame them because of how good Ancelotti is and how good the Brazilian team is. Because of sometimes just a little moment, just a little bit of an unforeseen error can make your dreams shattered. That's how the World Cup is. That's why we watch the World Cup. That's why we love this game of football, because of those little moments, those you don't think that matters, because of the way Japan scored that goal. It was just a silly mistake that you couldn't think what their goal can come out of that mistake. And that run from that midfield player, for him to shoot that ball from there, thinking that, or you can see, or these teams are there to play, that there to make the mark for themselves. Well done Japan for doing it, but unfortunately it wasn't your day, it was Brazil's day. And out of that, I'm saying we had a great time at this World Cup. We had a great time in this knockout. I will come back again after watching the rest of the game and give you the update of the games sharp.